Hi guys, welcome back to the Astrology. Today we are recording the video for the month of July monthly reading, and we are going to get started with some of the key dates that are going to be holding importance in this month. As you guys can see on your screen here, you have Sun in the sign of Gemini, which is going to be placed here for the first half of the month in July, and then it will be moving into the sign of Cancer from July 16th onwards. You have Mercury, which is going to be placed in the sign of Cancer itself, not his favorite position, but it is going to be in this position throughout the month until August 30th. Now, important bit for you to notice that Mercury will be getting retrograde from July 17th onwards all the way till August 11th, which means for the case of July, you can anticipate Mercury going retrograde for the second half of the month. Then you have Venus, which is going to be placed in its own sign, in its own house in Taurus, and he is going to be there until July 25th. So majority of the month he is going there in its own sign, and then it's going to move forward into the sign of Gemini from July 26th onwards. Mars continues its placement in the sign of Leo, where it is conjunct with Ketu. But at the last part of the month, from July 28th onwards, it will be moving into the sign of Virgo of Mercury. Now you have Jupiter, which has also been in the sign of Gemini, and it is going to be in Ardra Nakshatra from June 13th onwards. Now, important bit for you to notice that Saturn is going to be getting retrograded this month. It is in the sign of Pisces in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, and it will become retrograde from July 12th. You have Rahu in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is ruled by Jupiter, and it is placed in the sign of Aquarius, while Ketu is in Uttara Falguni Nakshatra in the sign of Sun in Leo, and it will get into Purva Falguni Nakshatra of Venus from July 20th onwards, which means there will be tad bit a shift that we'll observe in the outcomes coming in from Ketu's perspective as well. So Libras, as you guys can see on your screen here, you have Rahu and Ketu in your 5 and 11 axis. Good position for these two, and we have done a detailed video to talk about it as well earlier. These are crucial months. You have to make good use of this, transit. And Ketu is sitting in conjunction with Mars in the 11th house. So Mars, who happens to be your 7th lord and your 2nd lord in 11th position, good, great situation to be in. We'll talk about that at length. Saturn is in your 6th house. He will become retrograded. We just talked about that in the dates section. Venus is in your 8th, being the 8th lord, Lagna lord. We'll come to that as well. But Jupiter is, combusted in the first half while it is in conjunction with Sun. Then Sun moves into the 10th house and becomes conjunct with Mercury, who would also be becoming retrograde, but they will form a Buddha-Diti Yoga there. Now, first and foremost, I think the Rahu Ketu axis is such a crucial one. Rahu is in a position where it is going to expand your creativity, it is expanding your willpower, your ability to take risks, getting into new kind of startup pursuits, investing heavily into certain areas. And that is where I had called about the caution as well, because when Rahu is there in the fifth, though for you guys, because it is in the sign of Aquarius, it's a brilliant position to be in. It is going to give you some very interesting opportunities, but at the same time, it is going to cloud your judgment. Rahu is giving an aspect to your first house. You will make certain decisions that would either be beyond your capacity to address, or you might have failure in terms of taking the right call as well. You might misjudge people, you might misjudge situations. And to make matters difficult, Mercury will get retrograded as well, which we'll talk about in a second. So it is going to be important that you practice some level of caution there. Now, usually I do say that seek the advice of somebody around you, see the recommendation. But given that Mercury is the ninth lord and Jupiter himself is sitting combusted in the ninth house, even the recommendation, the advices, suggestions also coming your way may not be very helpful. So I would ideally want that, if I were in your shoes, I would stall some of the key decisions until and unless I feel confident. When I'm being ambitious, I would want to keep a check, a recheck, a revisit on my ambitions as well. That is also going to become very important with this Rahu placement. But Ketu and Mars forming that conjunction, aggressive conjunction in your 11th house, your desires will be abound. You will be chasing big things. You will be filled with energy. But at the same time, remember, I had been stating this in that previous video as well as in Ketu in all houses video as well, that when Ketu is in the 11th house, it is okay for you to have big desires, ambitions. But once you've put that bookmark, that benchmark in your mind, you should then distract yourself towards the efforts that need to be put. And that is going to be critical for you to practice. Ketu is sitting in conjunction with Mars, who happens to be your seventh lord. So this is also going to be a tricky position for people who are looking forward to get married, who are in marital relationships. There will be some level of turbulence, some level of challenge that could come into play. When seventh lord is moving 5 places away, it also brings the possibility of a person gaining through the seventh propositions, which is gains in your business or gains in your marriage or gains of marriage. So that possibility is something you have to keep in mind as well. But at the same time, there is going to be a tremendous amount of pursuit that you are going to bring to the table to accomplish your goals. You are going to put exorbitant amount of energy, and then Mars also happens to be the lord of your second house sitting in 11. That's a beautiful, strong, positive dhan yoga, guys. Mars sitting here would also be giving an aspect back to his own house, his own sign. So there will be some unconventional level of frugality that will also tend to come in, which is a beautiful thing to happen. So you will be focused towards gains, but at the same time, you would control your expenses. You will not be splurging into anything which is unwarranted, not needed. Mars on the other side is going to be giving an aspect to your fifth house and your sixth house as well. This gives you the ability to overcome challenges coming your way. Even Saturn is forming that Chatruhanta Yoga, but Mars aspect to the fifth house means you could be stricter, you could be more strong in your communication with your kids, with your with your loved ones, with your romantic partner, and that is something that you will have to look out for, because that could become tricky for you. Then, as we move further, we see that Saturn, who happens to be a Yoga Karaka planet for your chart, is placed in your sixth house. He's moved, being the fifth lord, second place away from itself, and being the fourth lord, third place away from itself into the sixth, means this Saturn has been urging you to bring a lot of discipline, a lot of, order in your life. But the Saturn will also become retrograded, and there will be certain implications that will be coming into play with this retrograded Saturn. Currently, until that retrogradation is coming into play, he's giving an aspect on to your eighth house, your 12th house, and your third house. There is going to be some push that this Saturn is going to demand in terms of your hard work. There is going to be some effort that it is going to require, or it is going to ask you to put that effort in unexpected situations. Maybe your interest towards research of some kind, occult, or any other areas is going to increase. Now, to make matters interesting, you have to understand that when that retrogression comes into play, there will be some level of withdrawal that will come in your life. There will be some level of pullback that you will see, and we will talk about that at length when we make the retrogression video as well. There are a lot of things that I'm not covering from a retrograde perspective here, because I intend to make a specific video. So please keep an eye on that. Please watch out, and we will talk about that in length. Now, your Lagna Lord and your eighth Lord, Venus, is placed for most part of the month in your eighth house itself. Now, this position of Venus is giving an aspect into your second house too. So, along with Mars, Venus is also giving that aspect to the second, and that is where that ability to hoard, to attract, gain wealth through known, unknown sources, through expected and unexpected affairs, through planned and unplanned, courses or mechanisms is going to increase. You are going to focus towards your health. You are going to focus towards the right knowledge that you want to acquire. Many of you, I'll see, you will be pivoting in terms of focusing to learn, going deep down into some areas. It could be occult, it could be starting a research project in itself. It could be just not for the heck of actually showing a certification to the world, but just for real sake, gaining that knowledge, grasping that skill. And that ability is going to be on a high for you folks. Now, yes, Jupiter has been in combustion. So, somewhere or the other, that inertia, being the Lord of the third and the sixth house, has not been there, but Venus is going to bring that positivity in you. In the last part of the month, you will realize that both Mars and Venus will be shifting their positions. So, Mars will be coming out of your 11th house and be moving into the 12th, whilst Venus will be coming out of your 8th house and moving into your ninth. First and foremost, what you'll realize is that with Mars movement in the 12th house, there will now be certain expenses that might get triggered. There will be certain areas where you will have to push forward, either in terms of journeys or in terms of physical drain of your energy. But at the same time, Mars is going 11 places away from itself too. And from there, he will continue to give an aspect back to his own house, now this time around to your 7th house. Guys, this is going to become crucial. Yes, you will have the ability to find certain gains through foreign sources from places far away from your current location, from movement happenings in terms of abroad possibilities, shifting to different locations. But at the same time, this Mars is giving an aspect to your 7th house. So it can form tricky situations. That conjunction with Mars and Ketu would have brought an end also to certain things, and it can further add fuel to fire when he gives that aspect. So I would want you to please understand that you would know better where you will have to continue and where you'll have to bring an end to your partnerships, to your formal relationships, or figure out a mechanism to deal with the turbulences that could be coming in your marital life. That bit is also possible. But in that shift, you will also notice that now Mars will be giving an aspect to the sign of Sagittarius, along with Venus, who is going to be become conjunct with a full blown strong Jupiter as well. So again, your efforts, your short distance travel is going to become prominent for you guys. And Libras, you are going to figure out avenues as to what new can be done by you. You could be putting an effort in terms of learning some new hobby, some new skill. And I was alluding to that bit when Venus was in the eighth as well. So that bit is definitely on the cards. Remember, third is eighth to eight. So it's like the higher form of learning can be seen through the third house as well. It is not just your hobby bit, it is your extensive involvement into something that can result into this. When we talk about your ninth house dignity, you have Sun currently placed with a combusted Jupiter in your ninth house. This is a period where you will find that you could be bereft of certain ideas. There could be some lack of principles, lack of thought process around that area as well. Or more importantly, you have to read this from the combustion of Jupiter perspective, that there could be that level of lethargy, some inertia, which is taking time for you to step out of it. There could be difficulties you will be facing in your day-to-day life as well at this point in time, especially since the last 1 week, and it will continue into the next 1 week as well. But eventually, you are going to overcome it. If you are facing issues with respect to your work-life balance, if you are facing issues with respect to the collaboration that you are forming with your colleagues at your workplace, or with respect to any kind of loans or litigations coming on top of your head, you will be able to bounce back from it. You just have to be patient and give yourself more time. That is going to be important. But at the same time, Sun's presence here, being the Lord of your 11th house, 11 places away, x to the power x into your ninth house, is going to be very important. Again, given that Mars and Ketu were there in the 11th house, and Sun, being the 11th Lord, is moving 11 places away from itself, he is going to ignite that maddening amount of desire to achieve something, to acquire something, to accomplish something. But that shift of inertia is also equally important. So you're watching Dave Astrology because you want to learn to rule your planets. You want to learn to rule how you would want to plan, strategize things differently. I would urge you to please step out of that comfort zone and see that how you can take the battle head on with respect to those areas. Again, traveling both from a short distance and long distance perspectives is definitely on the cards. I see many of you Libras, taking a leap forward and embarking upon vacations, work related travel, highly probable given that Mercury is also sitting second to itself, being the Lord of Nine. That is also a possibility coming into picture. Once Jupiter is out of combustion with Sun's movement into the 10th house, he will be, giving a stronger aspect back to your first house to your third, and more importantly, your fifth, where Rahu is sitting. And remember, guys, Rahu and Jupiter are in a parivartan, in an exchange of the nakshatras where they are placed in each other's nakshatra. So the current balance is tilted towards Rahu, but once that combustion is over in the second half of the month, you will find that there will be a lot of confidence, direction, that lack of confusion, or maybe coming out of that confusing state is going to be happening, and that's going to be a good situation for you. That is where you will get a lot of clarity to deal with your problems as well, because now your sixth lord is giving you that support. Yes, you will have to continue to keep a check on your health, especially in the first half, because I anticipate some of you dealing with minor health related problems as well. You have to also understand, when Sun moves into your 10th house in the second half of the month, he will be forming Buddhaditya Yoga with Mercury, who happens to be your 12th lord and your ninth lord. Mercury is denoting foreign connections, foreign relationships, everything related to your spirituality as well as religion, given he is the ninth lord, and your boss's connection. So coming into the 10th placement and directionally, this is a beautiful position for Mercury to be in. So unlike other zodiac signs, for Cancer as well as for Libras, the position of Mercury is actually conducive for you because he is getting that directional strength, albeit he is in not a favorable sign. But that directional strength means that you, in the second half of the month, will really be able to steer yourself towards right actions, efforts that you have to undertake, be it at your professional front or in the personal life. But, sorry, there are so many buts coming into play, but Mercury is going to get retrograded, and your decision making, your analysis, your thought process is seen through Mercury. And when your ninth and 12th lord is retrograded in 10th, you have to remember this bit, that especially related to your profession. Do not create situations that are problematic through your own communication. You will have to be very watchful in that front. And given that Sun will also be there, 12th to itself, being the lord of gains, 12th to itself, but directionally in a good position in the 10th house, there will be this ability of for you to shine, and you would want to show, you would want to express, but choose the right choice of words whilst communicating your thought process. Given that there has been turbulence in your sixth house and third with Jupiter combusted, once you come out of that shackle, you might want to break loose, and that is what you will have to be careful through the course of this month. Virgo is very, very important for you. Then you have to also understand the bit here that in the retrograded movement, there could be certain level of delays. You might feel that your bosses are not favoring you enough. They will be on your side, folks, but you will have to understand that you cannot expect them to move into action at your will. Things will work out for you over a period of time. So keep on pumping that effort. That energy is there in you, Libras, but the impact of it you might see in the later part of August, when Mercury is also coming in along with Sun into your 11th house. Materializing of all those things will take some time. All right. So all in all, I see this is a beautiful month. You are going to evolve week over week. The initial 2 weeks could be critical in terms of you keeping that check, that balance on yourself, but you are going to rise and shine. You are going to come out. You are going to put in the efforts in the right direction. Once that momentum is gained, Libras, please do not drop that momentum. Just continue to push forward. Health wise, I'm feeling confident. Communication wise, I've already called out. Keep a check on yourself. Be kind to your loved ones, to the ones that you are in relationship with, either romantically involved or married to. Be kind to your kids as well. That is going to be absolutely critical. But all in all, it is going to be a tremendous period. Lots of learning coming your way and lots of reskilling also happening. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.